Greetings, everybody. It's Joe. Welcome to my St. Mark series. We are going to enjoy this journey. We are going to benefit from it greatly. And I do not want to hesitate one bit. I want to get us rolling into chapter 1 of St. Mark's Gospel. Before I read the passages, I just want to put in context where Jesus is on this journey. He is just been announced as his public ministry, and immediately he is cast out into the desert to deal with some temptation from God. So that's where we are, and now let us take a few moments to quiet our minds and hearts as we listen to St. Mark chapter 1, verses 12 and 13. At once the Spirit sent him out into the wilderness. And he was in the wilderness 40 days, being tempted by Satan. He was with the wild animals, and angels attended him. So there was no time for celebration. There was no time for a kickoff party or a few, times with friends to sit down and say, hey, this is great. My ministry's beginning. No, there was none of that at all for Jesus. He was cast out immediately into the desert and into this situation where he was going to be tempted by Satan. What an amazing transformation this is, and a quick one at that. Does it happen to us? I say that it does. I can tell you with a bit of humility that I remember very well a couple of milestones in my life. My college graduation being one, my ordination to being a deacon another, where I was literally counting the days to the big day, counting the days. And then I would go so far as to count the days, and if it was 20, I would count back 20 days to see if I could remember 20 days and realize how fast it might go. If that makes any sense to you, it barely makes sense to myself at this point. But I was counting the days down, and I think we all do that. And then what happens? What happens is we go through the graduation, or in my case, the ordination, and bang, we are right thrust into life. This gospel is, like many others, if not all others, an absolute parallel to our life. And Jesus being thrust into this situation shows us that it could happen to us again and again and again. And it doesn't take a milestone to have the cause and effect of us sitting there nice and relaxed, maybe off a vacation or whatever it is, and then bing, a tragedy comes up, a challenge comes up, and we are faced with it without any notice or any preparation. This is a very interesting slice of life, my friends. What are we to do about it? Well, first of all, I think we need to look at the gospel very carefully. We need to look at the fact that Jesus was attended to by the animals and the angels. He was, for lack of better words, soaking in the moment, even if it was a difficult moment at that. He was also looking for help from some places that may not be as accepted as some might think, right? The animals were attending to him. Therein lies how we should be looking at our preparation for life happening so quickly to us. First and foremost is to enjoy the journey of every day. Yes, every day. So if I were to go back and I were to recreate what I did leading up to my ordination, I would be a lot more inclined to look at the journey along the way, soak in every moment, soak in those moments where maybe people or animals were helping me. Namely, at the time, I remember it was our dachshund Rommel who was so attentive to me. And really soak that in as much as we possibly can, even more so than the goal itself. And then, yes, when that situation hits, we would be more inclined to soaking in those precious moments of the journey in the midst of the challenge itself. You see no panic in Jesus's mindset here, do you? He is being tempted by the devil, but there's no panic that you can read through the gospel lines. You see calmness. You see him soaking in the moment. You see him surrounding himself with the animals and the angels. Probably because he did it effectively in those times leading up to a goal, to a graduation, to whatever the case may be. So, my friends, as we reflect on this Mark chapter 1, verses 12 to 13 lesson, I would say that we are looking truthfully at consistency in our life, where we can be absolutely looking at the journey versus the goals, each step of the way being consistent and appreciating those who are there assisting us, those who are there supporting us, those who are just along with us. That consistency will go a long way to having our mind prepared for that moment when we need to face something that we normally wouldn't look forward to facing. Well, let's reflect on that for a few moments. I always welcome your feedback. I look forward to seeing you in the next section of the St. Mark series. And as always, I say thank you for following me.